I'm Tom, and this weekend's actually kind of a weekend that's sort of gone under the radar a little bit. I think in light of recent events and the fights that have been happening, Eubank Ben, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Canelo, this one sort of slipped under the rug a little bit. And then when it should have had its time to shine over this last couple of weeks, well, actually we've been kind of complaining about the fights we've been seeing. So we've kind of let this weekend slip. And actually there's a couple of, at least domestically, there's a couple of big fights. Domestically, you've got Fabio Wardley versus Justice. I'm going to mispronounce his name. Hui? But, Matchroom versus Queensberry. A bit of a potential banana skin fight there. You've also got Dave Allen versus Johnny Fisher. And I'm going to talk about Dave Allen versus Johnny Fisher in this one. Dave Allen versus Johnny Fisher 2. Which, firstly, fair play to Johnny Fisher. He got given the nod. Rightly so, wrongly so. I don't think robbery's the term, and I am the first to criticise boxing for its score system. Those of you that have been watching me a bit more frequently will know that I have been criticising boxing and its scoring system for the longest time. I think the scoring system in boxing is genuinely awful and it needs changing. However, when you call fights that aren't robberies a robbery, that's going to stop people wanting to change the scoring system, because when it's not a robbery, if we're saying it's robbery, they'll be like, well, what's the point? Because you can't please them anyway. And we'll change it and make it better, and they'll still call it a robbery. And this is the problem. Fights like Eubank Ben wasn't a robbery. I had it bang on 116, 112. Now, you might have it differently. That's fine, but it wasn't a robbery. It was a close fight. Dave Allen, Johnny Fisher too. People shouting robbery, robbery, robbery. Look, I had Dave Allen winning, but it was a close fight. For me, had it a draw, you include the knockdown, you give it to Dave Allen. That's my opinion. It was a close fight. It wasn't a robbery. We've seen robberies. This wasn't that. And we need to be careful when we call things robberies, because that's what's going to stop people wanting to improve the sport. That said, going into this fight, Johnny Fisher's given him the rematch, rightly so, but didn't have to do it. And I've been watching a few people do their kind of reviews on the fight, or previews of the fight, and they're saying that, a lot of people have said that Dave Allen would win on points. Johnny Fisher's got to go in there, basically, throw all caution to the wind and just go hell for leather and see if he comes out trumps. See if his number gets pulled out of the hat. I disagree. I actually disagree quite a lot. I think if Johnny Fisher goes in there and sticks behind his jab and tries to box, he'll win. I think Johnny Fisher was boxing better than Dave Allen in the first fight until he got caught. I gave Johnny Fisher the first 4, Johnny Fisher the 10th. I gave Dave Allen the middle, 5, and then you include the knockdown. So Johnny Fisher was winning the fight up until he got caught with the punch. Now, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Look, he got caught with the punch. That's the fact of the matter. No one's going to be saying, if he didn't get caught, he'd have won the fight. He got caught. That's that. But he was boxing better. If I gave him the first 4 and the last 10th, I gave him the first part of the fight, he then got caught, and I gave him when he ran to recover. So I don't understand why now the narrative, seemingly, is that Dave Allen will outbox him and Dave Allen will win. If anything, that fight he's just been in with Dave Allen was his only chance, because Johnny Fisher, believe you me, will have learned a lot from that fight. He'll have taken away so much from that fight with Dave Allen, because he's been in there, he's just been blowouts. Bar one fight, he's been absolute blowouts for Johnny Fisher, because he's clearly got power, he's clearly decent. And those blowouts, you don't learn an awful lot from. You've got to go to those acid tests and get, the nitty gritty of it to learn a lot. And now I've seen Johnny Fisher a camp further in, a heavy, hard fight further in. He's been there. I think if he sticks behind his jab and boxes and moves, he'll win. I'm not saying he'll do that, but I do think he'll be a lot more cautious. Johnny Fisher's an entertainer. He's going to be there at the Copper Box, the Copper Bosch Arena. 7,000 people, 7,500 people. He's going to want to put on a show. So I think he'll try and knock him out, but I think he'll do it way more carefully this time, because I think Johnny Fisher will back himself to go to points and win. I think he's a better boxer. Dave Allen's more experienced, and I think we saw that in the last fight. All of those hits behind the back of the head. How he wasn't called up on it, I'll never know. Watch that fight back and just count the back of the head hits. How do you get away with that? I'll never know. But it's just him being experienced. and he's got that. Other than that, I think Johnny Fisher punches slightly harder, and I think he's a better boxer. And now he's been in there in a hard, nitty-gritty fight, I think he gets the job done. And I think he has to get the job done, because if not, you know, you question how far he goes anyway. But if he loses this, you really question how far he goes. So for me, I've got Johnny Fisher. I've got it on points. I just think he'll be a bit, because of what happened in the last fight, a little bit tentative. I think he'll try and get him out of there. He might hurt him and wobble him a few times, but I think Dave Allen's got the experience and the know-how and perhaps the mental edge on him to drag it out and drag it through the 10 rounds. And then I think we see Johnny Fisher actually win on points this time. As much as he'll want to knock him out because he won on points last time and it was a bit of controversy, I think he'll want to win. I think he'll want to win by knockout, but actually get quite a comfortable points decision. Just don't get caught, and that's kind of the message. Don't get caught. Because you were doing fine until that point. Then you recovered, kind of, towards the back end and won the 10th. So just don't get caught. And these people saying that Dave's the better boxer, I just disagree. And Dave's saying it, of course Dave's saying it, obviously. I don't dislike Dave. He's a good boxer, right? But I just disagree. I just think Johnny Fisher's better. So I'm going to go Johnny Fisher on points, people. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, people. Peace.